Former burglars of Reddit. Where is one place people should never hide valuables? Story 1. Former burglars of Reddit. I want to hear from the current burglars of Reddit. I like burglars that don't get caught. Story 2. LED lighting is cheap these days. If your house is going to be vacant for a while, consider investing in one of those smart lighting home automation systems where you can set different rooms to turn on and off at different points in the day. Kitchen during dinner time, bedrooms at night, etc. My neighbor did that and it fooled me. I rang his doorbell to ask to borrow a pressure washer wand with no response. Figured he was with his family and wasn't taking any more visitors, but it turns out he's been on vacation for the past 4 days. Story 3. Had my house burglarized by a so-called friend. He missed by far the most valuable thing. It's just a safe sitting on the laundry room floor. He missed it because I'm a scumbag and had it covered with a mountain of dirty clothes and towels. So not being tidy saved me upwards of $35,000. Story 4. This doesn't exactly answer the question, but it is a tip on potentially protecting your valuables. Bear with me because it's a bit strange. Glue a spare key, not one that opens something important, under your doormat. Weird, right? A few years ago, I did this in addition to installing cameras. Over the last couple of years, I've seen this exact scenario play out. Thief walks to the door, checks under the mat, unsuccessfully tries to grab the key, backs up, looks around to see if anyone is watching, presumably because they think they have fallen for some trap or prank where they are being surveilled, and leaves. They don't even search for another way in because it spooks them. Story 5. For the college kids that might read this, don't keep your textbooks in your car. On the day of my finals, I had about 6 textbooks I was going to sell after my finals. I left the books in my car while I took my test. Came back to find someone broke my window out to steal the textbooks. Cop told me that it's very common and unlikely they will catch the guy, so I was out $700, which was huge as a college student. Story 6. Also, side note, I used to do door-to-door sales for ADT. People would let me in the house and just tell me where all the important stuff was before even verifying I was legit. Don't do that. We had new windows in recently. The blokes that came took out the windows so fast and so quietly, I thought, shit, I hope they're paid enough to never think about doing break-ins. I imagine it would probably work well, too. Sometimes the more obvious it is, the less people will think to check. Put some high-vis on and just drill the floor off. Nobody will probably say anything. Story 7. I've seen people make false outlets for hiding valuables like cash and jewelry. Just an idea. A burglar would have to be at your home for a long time to start checking outlets. Story 8. I'm going to keep a small safe in the living room with a giant foam middle finger inside for when the day comes. Someone will be in for a surprise if they ever open the safe I keep in my nightstand. It's full of my kids' baby teeth. Story 9. I had a Malamute dog years ago. I had another 2 later, but this was a particularly fluffy one. A friend had heard that it was possible to spin their fur, so I saved enough to knit several jumpers. Anyway, a burglar took stuff from our garage and this massive box of fur, too. Must have been quite a surprise. A burglar stole my dad's box of dried up dog shit from the porch once. My dad goes out in the yard once a week to clean up the dog turds and usually throws them in an Amazon box and then tosses it. He left it on the porch for some reason and forgot about it. He realized he forgot about it, then he saw it spilled open on the street a block down. We laugh about the turd burglar still. Story 10. We had our apartments burgled. There were 4 apartments in the area. Guy kicked down the door and apparently was in and out pretty quickly. I came home from work. Cop told me, never leave valuables in your nightstand. Might have even said bottom drawer. Sure enough, mine were checked. I could tell because my envelopes were removed from where I had placed them. I live in a 4-apartment block. Every apartment got broken into except for mine, but the only easily accessible window to my apartment was my dog's room. Nothing like 90 pounds of asshole that doesn't like someone waking him up from a nap. Story 11. Fire safes are only safe from fires. My sister's house burned completely. The fire department didn't put a drop of water on it, and the propane added to the heat until the underground tank ran out. There was nothing but ash and rubble. When we broke into her fireproof safe, the plastic on the inside was mostly melted, but she recovered most of the paper documents inside, including about $2,000 in paper cash. Story 12. Don't keep a spare key near the front door, under a potted plant, under doormat, top of door frame, etc. I've always had this idea that there's a fake door key that, when used, triggered an alarm. Is there such a thing? I saw a lock-picking lawyer video where he rigged his lock so that if you used the wrong key, the lock would jam halfway through turning, which both locked up the door permanently and trapped the key in the keyhole. Story 13. Obligatory never done it, but you'd be surprised at how often people leave their cars unlocked with nice things inside. A lot of people actually leave them unlocked with the keys inside, lol. It's how the majority of cars are stolen. Eliminating the easy opportunity is the easiest step that will do a lot to keep your valuables safe. Story 14. My cousin lives in a bad neighborhood. So, she went to a thrift store, bought an obvious-looking jewelry box and a bunch of expensive-looking costume jewelry that's actually worthless, and put it in the box. She keeps this in a conspicuous place. Then she leaves a few 20s on top. This way, if someone breaks in, they will grab this and run, ignoring some of her well-hidden valuables. That's a great idea. I kind of do this while on holiday. I'll hide my wallet and keep an empty wallet in the front pocket of my backpack. If someone pickpockets you in public, I doubt they'll check the contents first before trying to disappear. Story 15. Inside vacuum cleaner. We hid money in it and it got stolen with everything else in the house back in Syria. Any safe that's not bolted down and is small enough for 1 to 2 people to carry isn't safe at all. Also, my ex's grandfather had a safe stolen from his home that was bolted down. The thieves wrapped a chain around it and ran it out to the window into the truck. Took the safe straight through the wall. All they had to do was follow the drag marks through, but still. Story 16. Your shed. Seriously, lock your fucking shed. Even if your house is well locked, if your shed isn't, likely have access to a plethora of tools I can use to gain access. Don't help the burglar lock your shed. Story 17. Reading this discussion with fascination and imagining alternative life where I have stuff worthy of stealing. Also, my husband is a hoarder, so I would be grateful if somebody came and stole some stuff. Yeah, anyone trying to find my valuables is going to have a hell of a job. It already looks like I've been burgled. Story 18. Don't leave things out that people can see from outside your home or car. If you buy a new TV or computer, break down the box it came in. Don't just leave it by your garbage bin. Lock your doors and windows. Keep your handbag close and closed. If someone wants to break in, they will. Don't keep everything out in the open. And have insurance on anything that is valuable. Story 19. I heard a lot of people hide stuff in the air vents. Is it searched usually? Also, my mom used to hide what little valuables we had in a small space behind our washing machine, a really heavy one. Except if you knew it was there, you couldn't know there was a space here, and that was accessible. She had to spend 10 to 15 minutes hiding stuff because it was really hard to access. So I guess that burglars wanting to do their things as quickly as possible wouldn't spend time looking there. Story 20. Not a burglar, but our home was being broken into. We only had the 1 bedroom at the time, but the places that the burglar looked into were the closet, everything was thrown out, desk drawers, found a bit of cash and our passports were taken, the entry furniture, drawers, under the bed, and bedside tables. At least now I know where not to hide valuables, not that I have any. Watch the show It Takes the Thief, if you can find it. That'll give you some good ideas about this stuff.